Welcome to Super Talk, the podcast that scratches your superhero itch. Just two suburban dads nerding out over superhero stuff on the small screen and the big. Buckle up, people. Enjoy the ride. Welcome, YouTube. Episode 46. My lord. All right. Professor, how you doing? You ready?
Let's do it.
In 3.
Welcome to Super Talk, the weekly podcast dedicated to news and reviews of comic book media on the big and small screen. This is episode number 46, and I'm your host, Brian Professor Pettis, and with me, as always, is my illustrious co-host, Titanium Tony Estrella. Titanium.
Professor, Spider-Man does whatever a spider can. Kind of exciting.
Yeah, kind of, but we'll kind of talk through that a little bit today.
Yeah, we're going to get into the Spider-Man trailer, the latest and greatest, the thing that's sweeping the nation, and the rumor mill, and the speculation and innuendos, but we'll get into that. So, Professor, take us to school.
All right, before we get started, let's thank the patrons. Patreon.com/supertalk. These are the listeners of the show that bring the show to you. They've donated $1 an episode to help us out, and we appreciate that. If you want to become a patron, go to patreon.com/supertalk. We're doing a big giveaway in a matter of weeks here, so now's the time to join if you want to join, so we'd really appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much. Shout out to the Patreon, so thank you.
To the girls and squirrels.
For the squirrels and girls, yeah, absolutely.
All right. Mm-hmm. All right, well, let's get into it this week. Not a lot of new content to review, but I did want to kind of give everybody an update on Young Justice. I ran into our buddy, friend of the show, Greg Vire, last night, and he was telling me that he had started watching the first couple of seasons of Young Justice. I think he's now in season 2, and he said, I'm loving it. It's great. It's fantastic.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. I said, yeah, I've been trying to get Titanium to watch it, and he's not doing it.
I got a lot on my plate.
Yeah, but he was really pleased. He's like, man, this is a great show, and he said he's got a bunch of his friends from his office watching it too, and they're like, man, we need to get the people that write this show to write the Titans show. We're like, yeah, good idea.
Yeah, right,
because a little bit better. But we are in season 4 of Young Justice on HBO Max. That came out a few weeks ago when we had the DC Fandom event. They launched that new season on HBO Max, and we're in, I think, episode 6 or 7 right now in season 4. I think I mentioned early on the first part of the season really focused on McGann and Connor getting married on Mars, and there was a big tragedy. I won't spoil what happened, but now they've kind of shifted back to Earth, and we're now in a plot point with Tigress and her sister Cheshire, and they're kind of fighting against the League of Shadows, which is really kind of cool. So it's kind of getting back to what I've really liked about Young Justice. So it is speeding up a little bit, and hopefully it gets a little bit better. But yeah, go check it out if you haven't. If you haven't watched Young Justice, it's really one of the best animated shows. And again, there's 4 seasons of content out there, so good chance to good time to watch that over the holidays if you're looking for something to binge on.
Yeah, and that's a DC comic product.
Yeah, it's all of the really Young Justice. The whole concept behind it is the Justice League takes a lot of the younger members of the Justice League and forms their own team so they can do some of the things that the Justice League can't do. And the original founding members were some of the younger members like Red Arrow and Kid Flash and Aqualad and Robin and Nightwing, and yeah, it's been really, really good. So go check it out. It's really cool. And the Justice League characters also make appearances in the show as well. So it's not like they're not there. They do show up from time to time. So
very
really cool. All right, well, let's get into the news section this week. We mentioned last week on the show that this weekend Disney was doing their Destination 23 or D23 Expo in Disney World, and we were hopeful that we might get some Marvel content after the disappointment we had last week with Disney Plus Day. And unfortunately, this event was really focused on Disney, the I'll say the entertainment company from a parks and cruise line perspective. Really was focusing on the Disney parks themselves.
Yeah, destinations, D23 destinations. It was all about the cruise line and the parks and new attractions, new shows, new construction projects for building out.
And but we did get a couple of Marvel-based
pieces
of news that we can kind of talk through. So the first one was they did. A few episodes ago, several episodes ago, earlier this summer, when I went to Disney World, I mentioned that Epcot was under a massive renovation. They were had closed off a large section of the park and were renovating some pieces there. And we had gotten some rumors that one of those renovations was going to be a Guardians of the Galaxy ride coming to Epcot. And we did get an official announcement this weekend that that will be launching this coming summer, so summer of 2022. We will get Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind, the ride, will be opening at Epcot as part of their 50th anniversary celebration, which started this October, and it's going through next October. So they'll be launching that ride there in Epcot, and it is going to be the largest and longest indoor roller coaster in the world. And I think we mentioned, or when we talked about the ride before, that the actual cars that you sit in on the roller coaster have the ability to rotate 360 degrees independent of the track. So there's some cool stuff that's going to be happening there. Yeah. So, and I do believe they announced that.
I just got dizzy and sick just thinking about it. Like my motion sickness kicked in just thinking about it.
Just the concept of the ride made me motion sick.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
But Glenn Close was part of the announcement. She revealed that she was coming back as her character Nova Prime to be part of that ride.
She filmed scenes for it,
filming some stuff for some of the parts of the attraction. So, hey, really cool. I mean, it's something I think we're all looking forward to. If anybody's been to Epcot before, not a lot of rides, specifically roller coasters specifically at the park. But now we're going to have one there, and it's themed all around Guardians of the Galaxy. So, hey, we're going to have lots of Marvel merchandise and lots of Guardians merchandise. I'm sure it's going to be great.
Yeah, and with the new movie coming out next year, hopefully next year.
2023.
2023, okay. So move back a little bit. But, hopefully some of that cool stuff will be in there too.
Yeah. And then we did, so we also know that right now in Disneyland in Florida, they have the Avengers Campus attraction at the second park there. They did announce this weekend as well that they're building an Avengers Campus for Disneyland Paris. So if you're ever planning on visiting Disneyland Paris, that is under construction presently and will be opening up next summer as well. So, hey, we're going to get an Avengers Campus over in the Paris Disneyland. So, really cool.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to make it. I don't think I'm going to make Paris.
Yeah, if anything, we're going to go out to LA and not Paris, right?
Yeah, we'll go to Disneyland, but I'm gonna stay away from California for a little bit longer here.
All right, so a couple cool Marvel things from D23 this weekend, but nothing else on the movie front. So we'll just have to keep holding our breath and hope we'll get some more announcements there. Another thing I heard this week that we've kind of intimated this on the show before that Charlie Cox was returning in his role as Matt Murdock / Daredevil to the MCU. But now there's even more rumors that...
And this is the actor that played in the Netflix series...
The Daredevil, right? Yeah. And we did hear this week that he's not only rumored to... we'll kind of talk... We know some of the things we think he's going to be in, but he's rumored to be coming back for 4 specific projects, and they're all different. So again, the first rumor is that he's going to be in Spider-Man No Way Home, representing Tom Holland, Spider-Man, as his lawyer. So that there's a rumor that that's happening, and it's he was seen on set and things like that. So that it's a pretty solid one. But he's also now linked to several other Disney Plus projects. Again, She-Hulk. There's talk that he's going to be in She-Hulk as another lawyer that's going to be...
Makes sense. It's a comedy it's a courtroom comedy, about lawyers, and she's a lawyer. It would make sense for that.
For him to show up as his lawyer,
As a lawyer in that,
Yeah, Matt Murdock, the lawyer, showing up in that show. But again, those 2 movies, I doubt, if anything, he's going to be Daredevil and dressing up and fighting crime and doing all things as Daredevil. I think he's more going to be that Matt Murdock character. Cool. The rumor in the No Way Home is that he does kind of reveal to to Tom Holland that he is Daredevil, and they kind of talk about it, right? And that he is a super, but he doesn't actually put the suit on in that movie. But then we did hear that Marvel is making a Disney Plus series around the Echo character that's going to be featured in Hawkeye coming out next week.
I'm sorry, but I just don't see it. I'm hoping that
she might blow your mind.
Okay, blow my mind. I look forward to it. I'm open to it. But as of now, I don't see that being a lead story for its own show. But maybe I hope I'm wrong. We'll find out Wednesday, because that's when Hawkeye premieres on Disney Plus.
And she may be the Agatha Harkness of that television series.
That's
she may
true.
blow her mind.
That's true.
And hey, man, she was awesome, right?
Okay.
But anyway, they're making a Disney Plus series around that character, and there's some backstory there that they could draw upon from the comic books. But again, in the comic books themselves, Echo and Daredevil were romantically involved, and again, there's some rumors that he will appear in that series as well. And you and I talked about, we feel that character and maybe even that actress could not really carry a show by herself. Well, maybe it's because Daredevil's going to be in it, and maybe that's one way that it can be carried.
It would definitely carry the show. I think the following that Daredevil had on Netflix, if you move that over to Echo, I think it's a home run.
Yeah.
I think that's smart. I think we're going to see more, and we're going to see multiple characters like we are in Hawkeye. We're going to see multiple comic book characters in these productions, but that would be a big one.
Yep, and finally, it's rumored now that he will be having his own solo project.
Yay!
And we don't know if that's going to be a movie or a Disney Plus series. I think my gut tells me it would be a Disney Plus series. But hey, nobody deserves it more than him. No, that character deserves it for sure. But Charlie Cox, the actor, as well, he played that character so well on Netflix. And I think what we've heard, what's come out is that it will be a soft reboot of the character, even though he's playing. It won't be, hey, I'm just taking the same guy from Netflix and going to the MCU. It's going to be like if Charlie Cox were Daredevil and never had a Netflix series type of thing. So it'll be like kind of a soft reboot.
If they introduce him as a lawyer, then they have plenty of room to do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think there's a narrative there that could be told.
And they're introducing him as a new character that maybe a lot of people that never watched the Netflix series could be reintroduced to or introduced to for the first time.
That's
right?
Cool.
They don't have to kind of go back and watch Netflix so you know who this guy is. You don't have to do that, right? Some more news. We got word that the Eternals crossed the $300 million threshold worldwide in the box office. Again, I mean, hey, this movie's continuing to do well. It's not going to be the $1 billion blockbuster that we got with Avengers Endgame and Infinity War and with Black Panther. It's not going to be that, but I think it's eclipsed the expectations that Marvel had, especially considering we're kind of at the tail end of the pandemic and releasing it in theaters exclusively. I mean, I think $300 million is something to be proud of.
I think so. I think it'll do $500 million when all is said and done with. It's not going to do close to $900 million or $1 billion like Spider-Man will. But yeah, I mean, it was kind of shut down in China market and the Middle Eastern market, so it really doesn't have the global viewership that I think Spider-Man will have, and that'll be a cash cow.
Absolutely. And then we got word of when Venom: Let There Be Carnage is coming to digital. So Sony did announce this weekend that it will be released to digital on November 23rd. So 2 days from now, on Tuesday, you'll be able to get Venom: Let There Be Carnage on all the digital platforms. Streaming, you can buy it online, you can see it on the streaming services. And then it'll come to Blu-ray December 14th. So, hey, if you haven't seen that movie and you want to see it, now's a good chance to do that. You'll be able to buy or rent it digitally here very, very shortly. Yeah,
I might watch that again. I wouldn't mind seeing that movie again. But yeah, that's cool. I thought it was a good movie, and I think it's doing very well globally. I think it's past the $500 million mark.
Okay, that's a home run for Sony.
Of course.
Yeah, that's a home run for them. All right, well, let's jump right into the topic of the week this week. And this week we wanted to break down the Spider-Man No Way Home trailer that came out on Tuesday. And this is always sponsored by Studio G. G Studios, home of the Man Band Corn on the Cob. So thank you, Studio G, for all you do for us. And,
thank you, boys.
Yeah, we want to thank them as our sponsors. So the trailer came out, as we talked about on our show last week. They had a big release or launch event Tuesday evening in L.A. Tom Holland was there. He went up on stage for all the people that got to see the trailer live in the theater. Kind of hyped him up and kind of talked about how excited he was about the character.
Got pretty emotional up there, didn't he?
Yeah,
I saw him crying. Very emotional.
Yeah, and for him to be there was really cool. And but Sony did release the trailer online shortly thereafter. It was like an hour later.
That's cool.
We got it Tuesday evening, and the internet blew up, and everybody's watching it and all this other stuff. And so we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna break it down a little bit, and see, we did get some new scenes. We did get some confirmation of some characters, and then we also got
trickery. We got trickery.
Some things that weren't confirmed.
We're trying to be bamboozled. All right, overall, I didn't think it was that great at first. And then after I watched it like 7 or 8 times, I started to get more and more excited every time I saw it. And I'm pretty hyped now. I still think all the trickery and the bamboozles kind of takes away from the flavor of the movie for me. And we could talk about the trickery and what we think is trickery and what we don't think is trickery, but what I'm referring to is I think they've edited out some of the characters digitally, not to reveal their hand, even though it's the worst kept secret in Hollywood. The other 2 Spider-Men, Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield, I think will be in the movie. And there's some definite scenes where you can see that it's awkward that somebody's there, but it's not. So, I think that's a mistake by them, but I think they also want to try to keep that mysterious, like, are they not? There's still some doubt. No one believes it, but some people do. So we'll see. But yeah, I actually, when we first talked and it first launched, I was like, but then I watched it a bunch of times and it started to grow on me, and I got a little more hyped about it. So
yeah, I'm and I don't know how many other people out there are feeling this. I'm a little suffering from a little bit of the Spider-Man No Way Home hype fatigue.
Yeah.
If you're, any content, producer, content creator on the internet right now that covers Marvel or covers these movies, a large majority of the time they're spending is on this movie and talking about rumors and plot leaks and trailers, and they're breaking down the trailers, and they're going to slow-mo, and they're taking screenshots of different parts of the trailer, and it's just too much for me at this point in time. And look, I don't fault Sony for what they've done and their strategy here, because it's obviously working.
Sure,
their strategy is working. Everybody is talking about this. Everybody is making these videos and making these podcasts to talk about a trailer, not even the movie itself. And the hype machine is crazy, and it's all anybody wants to talk about. But I'm a little bit fatigued by it all.
I think the new rock stars, which is in our field a little bit beyond what we do, but new rock stars, I think has like 7, 8, 9 reviews. And when did it come out? Last Tuesday, and they've done like 8 or 9 reviews already of it. It's ridiculous. I think people are trying to ride this popularity of the Spider-Man, and
it's working for them too.
I guess it's
the hype machine's working for them too.
If you're going to do a whole show on the black Spider-Man suit, is it his suit inside out? Is it the Doctor Strange special enhanced suit with magical power? Who knows? But they've done people have done whole shows about the black Spider-Man suit.
That's incredible. In the trailer.
It's in the trailer. Yeah. It's got duct tape on it. He's duct taped.
Look, I froze his phone. Screen here.
Yeah. He's duct taped his phone to his chest, and you can see MJ and Ned on his chest on the phone. He's FaceTiming. It's just bizarre. People are really getting hyped over it. But I agree with you, Professor. You can't look at social media, and we follow a lot of people in the biz, and we follow a lot of DC comic, Marvel fanatics, and people that do the same thing we do. And man, they are just overboard about it.
At this point in time, for me, it's a little too much. And again, I don't fault Sony for the strategy, because what they decided to do around how they're going to hype this movie is brilliant, and it's working. And all of those people that are that are part of the hype, it's working for them too, because they're creating more content that's getting tons of views because it's all anybody wants to talk about. Personally, I'm a little fatigued. You texted me on Wednesday and you're like, hey, can we get together on Thursday night and do an episode? And I'm like, no. Number one, I was busy. I couldn't do it Thursday night, but I'm like, I don't want to do a special episode about a trailer because we can talk about it this weekend. But I was like, I'm
I actually wanted to do the show Thursday because my kids are home from college. Michael, Isabella, and Gabby obviously is in high school, but they were just all home. I just wanted to kind of chill with them.
Yeah, no, I get it. Yeah, but it's like I was just a little fatigued by it, and
yeah, it's getting much.
And again, we'll kind of talk through the trailer and what we saw and some of the things that were revealed. But I think what speaks more volumes to me is Sony's purposeful intent around hiding the fact that the other two Spider-Men are in this movie from us. It is, like you said, the worst kept secret in Hollywood that they're in this movie. Andrew Garfield had a new movie come out on Netflix this week, and he was doing promotion for that. And, of course, everybody's asking me about Spider-Man, and he continues to say he's not in the movie. I'm not in the movie. I'm not in the movie. So at some point in time, he's just openly lying, right? And whether he's contractually obligated to say that or it's a big joke. I mean, I think everybody in the world knows they're going to be in this movie.
Yeah.
And to your point, Tony, there's one of the trailers, I think it was the Brazilian cut of the trailer.
Yeah, the international Brazilian
where
cut.
the lizard is jumping out and he's jumping into thin air. Our Spider-Man is flying towards the lizard, Sandman, and Electro. And obviously, they're not all three of them jumping at our Spider-Man. They're all three going in three different directions.
Yeah.
And the lizard's jumping into thin air, and then all of a sudden his head, snaps to the side like he'd been punched or kicked.
Yep.
And there's nothing there to punch or kick him.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, they took, we know what they took out of that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the big climactic scene of the movie, and, come on. At this point in time, it's a joke. And the fact everybody's saying, are they or aren't they in the movie? I mean, come on. We know they're in the movie.
It would be devious if they weren't at this point, and they did those scenes on purpose to throw people.
It would be, at this point in time, I'm kind of hoping they're not.
Yeah, that
because
would be funny.
it would be. See, we told you the whole time they weren't in it, and they were going to be in the movie, but we digitally removed them because we didn't want all that. That it would be kind of funny.
Yeah.
But there were some really cool things that we saw in the trailer that let's get into some of them. I mean, we did get a little. I think I now more understand the plot of the movie better than I did from the teaser that we got. First off, we know that Spider-Man's struggling with his identity being exposed, and that's probably a good part of the first section of the movie is how he's dealing with that.
Yeah.
And then he goes to Doctor Strange for help, and Doctor Strange agrees to help him and cast a spell. Now he, in this trailer, says, you're the one that screwed that spell up. When you screwed that spell up, it opened these holes in these other universes, and now these things are sneaking in.
Yeah.
So that was revealed in this trailer that you're the one that screwed up that spell. When you screwed up that spell, it tore holes in other universes, and now things are coming in.
The multiverse. It cracked open the multiverse, and some things have come into ours. I still think there's something there. I don't believe that Doctor Strange would botch that. I think something happened at that same time that he was doing the spell that kind of...
could it be Wanda?
Could it be? That there's a lot of rumors about her...
Could she be influencing him or
correct,
or screwing with his spells?
Correct. That is a theory.
That would be a big surprise if she ends up being in this movie or making a cameo in this movie and kind of explaining on how some of these things are going haywire as a lead into his movie. That would be really cool.
Using him to crack open the multiverse because she knows her children exist in one of those multiverses. So
maybe
interesting.
Well, and I think it's probably safe to say most of the Sony movies themselves, most of them, have had post-credit scenes that are specific to their properties, like Spider-Man or Venom or whatever.
Yeah.
I think it would be safe to assume right now, and we can kind of when the movie comes out in December, we'll get a little bit more into this. But the problem is those post-credit scenes will be leaked immediately. Like you said, I think the movie's coming out 2 days before it comes out in the U.S., it comes out in the U.K., and so much is going to be leaked 2 days in advance.
Well,
right?
I'm going to go dark again, and a lot of there's a new TV spot that was just released about No Way Home, and I'm not going to search it out, and I'm not going to look at it. I'm going to go dark.
I've seen all the TV spots. There's several of them, and they're just kind of a couple of other minor little scenes. It's not anything too revealing. But we did, I think right now, safely, I can say, I think there's going to be 2 post-credit scenes in this movie. I think one of them is going to be related to Venom now being in this universe, which would make a ton of sense.
Of course.
With, that has happened in the Venom Let There Be Carnage post-credit scene.
He will definitely be in this movie.
Whether he's in the movie or he's in a post-credit scene, we will see him at some point in time.
And the guy that plays Venom, what's his name?
Tom Hardy.
Tom Hardy was seen wearing a Spider-Man No Way Home.
He was on set.
Hat. Yeah, he was on set. Yeah. And he was wearing the hat, and they immediately got rid of it on social media, but somebody on Reddit ran with it. So yeah. He's definitely in this post-credit scene or in the movie itself, but I think we're going to see him for sure.
Yeah, and the other post-credit scene I think might be Wanda. I think it'll be a lead into Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness.
Agree. So I absolutely agree. There's a lot of theories about the second post-credit scene. If Venom's not in the first one, Wanda is one of them. Another one of them is introducing American Chavez. The superhero, the young Native American girl from another universe that jumps from multiverse to multiverse and is being chased by a interdimensional creature, Shumagora. So that could be another post-credit scene. We could get her. But a lot of rumors out there. But yeah, we'll see. But I like it. I like WandaVision. I think you're right. Wanda might be.
Well, we know she's in that movie, and they've got to do something there. And I think this is you can see kind of and one of the things we saw in this trailer, at the end of the trailer, Doctor Strange is standing up on the torch of the Statue of Liberty, and he says, "They're coming through, and I can't stop them." Like, you see all these purple tears in the sky. Like, they look like tears in the sky. And he's like, they're all coming through and I can't stop them. So I think this is like the perfect lead-in to that movie, right? And so it would make sense that the plot of this movie feeds directly into what's going to happen in his movie.
Agree.
Right? Yeah.
I don't... Okay, so this is what's happening. And I don't think Doctor Strange, the Multiverse of Madness will be delayed. But I know that they've stopped production of Wakanda Forever because of an injury. Shuri, the actress that plays
Letitia Wright,
the actress that plays Shuri, literally fractured her shoulder. So it was a more serious injury than they anticipated, and she's not healing completely, so they've actually postponed the production of that. So we could see another delay. I don't want to say of that movie, yeah, and I'm sorry to say that, but I don't think that will affect Doctor Strange whatsoever, which is good news. But I hate to see another movie be pushed another year, which would suck. But well,
that one's supposed to come out next November, December timeframe.
November, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we'll see. But hey, one of the things we did get confirmed in this new trailer was we always assumed, and with some of the earlier teaser, we weren't really sure, but we now get confirmation that there are absolutely 5 members of the Sinister Six or whatever. There's 5 villains that come from other universes into ours. We saw Doc Ock. The Molina version of Doc Ock from Spider-Man 2. We know the Green Goblin from the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man 1.
Well, we're going to talk about
William Dafoe.
Yeah.
He's definitely in it. We saw him in his original costume on his glider. Yep. He was in the trailer.
Same look, right? Same feel. Yep.
We've got the Sandman from Amazing Spider-Man. From Spider-Man 3. And that was Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man.
Whether that's the same actor, Hayden or whatever.
Hayden Christian Church.
Yeah, I don't know if it is or not, but we know the Sandman's
in it. We know he's in it.
We got Electro's in it.
Electro. Well, it's Lizard from Amazing Spider-Man 1 and Electro from Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Yep.
And that's
Jamie Foxx.
Jamie Foxx's version of Electro. And his costume. Now, let's talk about that. What we did see. Jamie Foxx's costume looks cool as crap.
Oh yeah.
He's not like glowing blue like he was in Amazing Spider-Man 2.
He doesn't look like a reject from the Blue Man Group.
Right.
He doesn't look like a giant Smurf anymore.
Right.
I think he looks more natural.
Yeah, and it looks like he's got some type of battery
Iron
pack
Man,
on his chest and a bunch of things around him that allow him to use his electrical conductivity powers.
Kind of looked like an arc reactor in the middle there, something like that. But it was cool.
But one of the things that was really cool in the trailer is when he uses his powers, when he throws bolts of electricity. It made his head turn into the electrical star, the 5-pointed electrical star that was the mask of his original costume in the comic
books. Yeah.
That was brilliant, and I thought it was awesome, and I thought that I was really excited about that.
I think fans really like that a lot. I think that was one of the biggest criticisms, was that he was blue, and now fans are going nuts about that change. Huge upgrade, like they did with the Abomination and Shang-Chi. They kind of made him more comic book
accurate. Yeah, absolutely. So those were things I really enjoyed. But we know all those villains. We know Alfred Molina does talk to our Spider-Man, says you're not Peter Parker, and captures him. We do get some confirmation that he's able to consume some of the nanites that are in his Iron Spider costume and make his octopus tentacles red.
He's got him pinned up against this pylon, this cement pylon, and you see this big gap in the Spider-Man
like
nanotech.
He tore it off of him or something.
He tore it off of him, or he transferred it over to him so that he could control the legs or something to that effect. But then he shoots another arm at him, and his whole mask, a nanotech mask of Spider-Man, goes down to his chest to protect his chest because it's not going to hit his face, which is really cool. I mean, that's spectacular. I think that scene really works. And he's like, "You're not Peter Parker." So, yeah. And then at some point you see them interacting with him, and he's not so much of a threat. He's almost like...
Well, they capture him. I think, and we see a scene where Doctor Strange is talking to MJ and Spider-Man and Ned, and says, "Hey, Scooby-Doo this shit, right?" And they're like, I know some magical words too, like please, and she, please Scooby-Doo this shit, right?
Wow, she's bold, man.
Yeah.
I mean, MJ basically calls out Doctor Strange, and he's like, "Well, to be honest with you, this is kind of your fault too. So I know a couple of magical words. Why don't you say please?" And he's like, "Yeah, please Scooby-Doo this shit."
So it seems like these villains have come in through tears in the universe, and Doctor Strange is busy trying to figure out what's going on with these tears and solving that problem. And he sends Spider-Man on the mission to capture these villains, right? And he gives his suit some magical capabilities. We see some magical runes going around his arm at one point in time, and he's been sent on a task to capture these villains. And we think that that's what that green box that he's holding around at some points in the trailer is that's where he's putting these villains when he captures them. But I believe that scene in the basement where they have Doc Ock, Alfred Molina captured, they had captured him, and he was like...
And Ned has a crossbow.
Right. But he was able to talk to them.
Yeah.
And he was telling them, is like, look, you're fighting ghosts. And Doctor Strange confirms to Peter Parker that, hey, they all die. The reason why they're here, they all die fighting Spider-Man. It's their fate. That's what happens to them. And now they've escaped that fate, and they're coming here for redemption, right?
Which is probably one of my favorite things that after I saw the trailer several times, I started to recognize the conflict within Peter Parker and having to... He
feels bad for him.
He doesn't want to kill people. That's not his MO, and he never has. So he is conflicted about doing what his destiny tells... Doctor Strange is telling him what his destiny is, and making other decisions. There has to be another way. I can't save them all. He says that in the trailer. I can't save everybody. I think we're going to see some people... I think we're going to see some people die. I don't know.
He said that when he went to the trailer release party. He said, "Hey, one of the things I love about this character is he always does the right thing. He always does the right thing." And he says he's such a pure character. And he says, sometimes I wish Spider-Man would be very selfish, but he's not. He's always thinking about other people. And I think what happens, we kind of see this throughout the trailer, is that Doctor Strange sends him on this job to capture these villains, and he starts feeling bad for them because they died fighting Spider-Man in their own universes, and he wants to, help them out instead of kill them or capture them and send them back or whatever to die. Because if he sends them back to their universe, they're going to die.
They're going to die, yeah.
Right, because they were ripped from their universe in the moments before they died, right? So
there has to be another way, yeah. And
right.
I think we see him steal the box from Doctor Strange, and then I think that's their whole battle scene, and, and then he puts him into the mirror dimension, and you see the train and everything. I think that's going on. Aunt May might pass. Aunt May might be a goner in this. I don't know. Maybe Hoppy. I don't know. Hoppy? Happy. Maybe Hoppy. I'm thinking.
It's not Easter yet.
I'm thinking from Stranger Things.
Hopper. Hoppy.
Maybe Happy.
We do see him. We do see him in the trailers as well. Happy is in the trailers, and he's still
Aunt May.
He'll be in the movie for sure.
And then we see MJ at one point in the trailer. We see her taking a fall, very reminiscent of the Andrew Garfield movie, where she falls and he didn't save her in time and she dies. I mean, maybe MJ goes down in this. It's going to be interesting. As I keep watching this trailer, new little things pop up. But one of the most interesting things for me is the conflict. His conflict of doing the right thing and the destiny that has that connotation. They're going to die, and he doesn't want that to happen. I think that's interesting.
Yeah, and some of the conjecture that, and again, they're saying that this trailer's been so doctored that who knows who's doing what, and is it our Spider-Man doing? The point that you're talking about where MJ falls off the scaffolding. We see Spider-Man jump down to try to save her, and we see a hand reach out, and everybody's like, "Oh, that's Tobey Maguire's, that's Tom Holland's uniform," and they're like, "Well, could it be one of the others?" And everybody's saying, "Well, what a great redemption arc that would be for the Andrew Garfield version of Spider-Man because he was unable to save." His girlfriend from dying doing the same thing, falling, and if he kept if he's able to save this one, then maybe it's a way for him to redeem himself.
That would be cool. I think that's a nice twist, and that kind of trickery and misdirection, I don't mind that. I think that keeps people guessing. I think that's cool. Let me ask you this: there's a scene in the trailer where we get a different version of the Green Goblin coming on the glider. In a different outfit, and he's throwing those spinner bombs and different type of bombs. Do we think that's the same Green Goblin? Do we think it's the Hobgoblin, or do you think
could
it's
it be Harry Osborn from the first one? Yeah, I when I first saw the trailers, one of the things I told you is like, hey man, there's a part later on where we see the Green Goblin, but he's in a hoodie. And so he doesn't have the Goblin, costume on that he was wearing earlier in the trailer. And it looks like he's throwing different things. And it's like, could that be, the old version, the Harry Osborn version from the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man? Or could it be the Green Goblin we got in Amazing Spider-Man 2? Could it be one of those? And I was like, well, it could be. And you said, oh, people have slow-moed it. And the HD version, you can kind of see it's still William Dafoe. He's just not wearing the headgear anymore or whatever. And if it's not, I just thought it was cool that it looked a little different.
Yeah, me too.
But I don't think. I think at this point in time, I do think it would be logical if there were a sixth villain that we don't know about yet. We know about 5 for sure right now, but there's a sixth one I think that we might get. Look, if all of these are villains that died fighting Spider-Man, okay.
But the Sandman didn't die when he...
And neither did the Lizard.
Right.
Right? So, again, that's what he says, they're destined to die fighting Spider-Man or whatever.
But maybe in those different multiverses,
maybe they did. Right. Yeah. But we know one character from our Spider-Man's universe also died, and that was Mysterio. So is there a possibility that Mysterio shows up as the sixth villain and he comes back as well?
Michael Keaton was on a talk show the other night, and... he was out there. So what have you been doing? He says, I've been filming some Vulture stuff.
Oh, so that might be the sixth one.
And everybody was like, what? Wait, I thought you were playing back. Yeah, I'm kind of dabbling in both worlds right now. is what he said. So
it could be him. He might come back.
It could be him. I think Sony is trying to really distinguish themselves and only have 5 so that people don't associate the Sinister Six.
Right. And what else would be logical is, we know they're making a Kraven the Hunter movie.
Right.
Right. And we would think that villain would be one of the Sinister Six potentially as well, and that's not coming for a couple of years, 2 or 3 years.
So another possibility for an end credit scene could be the Vulture, could be Scorpion, Vulture, and some others,
or our universe's versions of these criminals finally deciding, hey, look what happened in this movie. Look what happened to Spider-Man. If we all work together, we have a way to fight him. Maybe we should all get together, and they form like a current version of the Sinister Six.
Yeah, with some new characters,
right?
And not not with the ones that are in this movie. That'd be interesting.
Yeah.
Or maybe we get Kraven the Hunter in the end credit scene.
Yeah.
That'd blow my mind.
Who knows?
That'd be crazy.
Yeah.
So overall impressions. Give me your overall.
Again, I thought what was revealed was enough to not only give me more information about the plot of the movie and more solidify what I thought was going on. Hey, yeah, this is what's going on. Really cool that they confirmed some of these villains crossing over in our universe. I think that was really cool. They confirmed that. But again, the subterfuge of doctoring the trailer and doing. I mean, I'm sure they've done a lot of things to keep us guessing and keep us on our toes. I'm just a little fatigued by it all. But at the end, I mean, I was going to see this movie to begin with. So I mean, they're not marketing it to me. Like we were going to be there when it opens anyway. So I mean, it's not like it needs. To get me excited about something I was already excited about. But I do feel you had some fears, and you probably still do have some fears that the movie's too busy and that it's going to be a little crazy. And there's way too many actors and it's a little crowded. Again, I think at the end of the day, this is going to be a Tom Holland movie. It's going to be a lot of Tom Holland. I think Doctor Strange is in the movie, plays a role, not a huge role, but a role. I think the villains are in the movie, they play a role, not a huge. At the end of the day, it's going to be a Tom Holland movie.
Hope so.
And I think our Spider-Man is going to be the one that is the main feature, and we know that Ned and MJ are prominent. Hey, they're in the final fight scene. Trying to help him out somehow, right? Doing something. So one of the other things that we saw in the trailer, which was really cool. It looked like the structure they had around the statue. The reason why all the scaffolding was around the Statue of Liberty is because they were changing the Statue of Liberty so that instead of holding a book, she was holding Captain America's shield.
Yeah.
Did you see that? That was
it
as a tribute to him.
It's a giant banner on the side of the scaffolding, has a picture of it, and she's like actually holding the shield up. I think they were going to put that.
Where the torch was?
Yeah, up on the torch. That's the picture, the banner that's on the scaffolding. The shield is actually up high.
Oh, really cool.
Yeah, I mean, that's the picture shown. That's kind of cool. It looks like it all goes to hell, though. I mean, the shield definitely comes crashing down in the trailer. So that'll be interesting. I mean, again, I'm excited for this now. I'm a little more, after seeing the trailer several times, I'm a little more excited. I still have a feeling it's going to be very busy. I think it's very crowded. But I hope you're correct where it is a Tom Holland's movie and they don't get into too much of the different characters and kind of separate that out. I did see that the Eternals did a hell of a job doing that.
Right.
So it can be done. That was another movie I felt like it was going to be very busy. So I'm excited to see it.
I have a feeling there's a lot more they're keeping from us than we know.
For good reason.
But I think the thing they're keeping from us that the other two Spider-Men are in it, that is the most obvious, like, worst secret ever. I don't think that anybody's going to be surprised when that happens, but I do think we're going to be surprised by some things in the movie that they're keeping from us.
A little misdirection. I think they're trying to have everybody focus on that lie so that the other things get kind of missed and lost. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Trickery.
Yeah, but again, I mean, look, we're going to go see it. We'll be excited about it, and it's going to kill it. Like you said, Tony, it's going to make $1 billion, and
it'll make a lot of money.
Might make a lot of money for sure. It's coming out over Christmas. I mean, this is gonna everybody's gonna go see this movie. All right, we have any questions this week?
No, we do not.
All right, well, let's call it a show.
Absolutely. Let's ring the bell, Professor.
All right, well, that's it for us this week. We'll be back next week for more Super Talk. To get in touch with us on social media, hit us up via email at supertalkpodcast@outlook.com or at supertalkpod on Twitter. Until then, stay super, everyone.
And we are out.
Thanks, YouTube. Appreciate the support.
Smash that subscribe button, YouTube. Thank you.